Hi, my name is Trey Boynton, and I have the distinct honor of being the head of diversity and inclusion for geosecurity. I am so thrilled to be talking to you today about diversity and inclusion in tech, or D&I in tech, as I'll just abbreviate it for my purposes today. I'm new to the tech industry, so I'm kind of a new kid on the block, although new is relative here, because y'all be moving fast in this tech industry. I actually came from right up the street at the University of Michigan, where I did social justice education for almost 20 years with students, faculty, and staff. And the way that I've done my work, and the way that you do that with students who are there for such a small amount of time, is that you try to take super dense, complex information, and you try to make it work for them, so that they can make meaning of it, right? This is hard stuff sometimes. This is complex stuff. You are talking about things that are multifaceted and layered. And so I use metaphor. I try to make it super simple, and I try to take anything that you can. I try to take something that's out there in the world and the research, and I try to just make it palatable for folks. So that's what I'm going to try today. I'm going to try to talk about D&I using meteorology as a metaphor, right? Like, buckle up, okay? I'll give you a hint. Who is this? Looks like every other Renaissance painting, but I'll give you a hint. It's Daniel Fahrenheit, the father of the modern thermometer. Boom, who's that? Al Roker, the Today Show, our favorite weather person. And then, of course, we got to give a shout out to the Weather Channel, the morning anchor, Stacey Abrams, right? So what does all of this have to do with D&I? You are probably wondering, what have we done? But I promise there is a metaphor in this, and there is a way to talk about this. And I'm going to give kind of 4 inspirations of what I think we can learn from meteorology as we think about diversity and inclusion in tech. The first is that it's an evolution of practice, that we need to recognize that when we start a field, just like we started in meteorology, we used to just kind of look outside and see what the weather was like to plan for our day. And over time, it's evolved into writing it down, actually looking at patterns, collecting data, starting to actually use technology to tell us, what are we on, like Doppler, like 900,000 right now, right? Like they're telling us that the Doppler radar is telling us all these things. Over time, we've actually evolved, and D&I practice must evolve like that. We are really actually new at this because we had to recognize that there was something that we needed to do and then try some stuff, and we're still trying stuff. So let's not panic, y'all. This is the long game. I think the quote that I often use is, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice, and that's by Dr. King. And so I take that, and I think that's how we have to think about D&I practice. The next, I think, is that we have to look at topography. Just as the landscape tells us who and what is in our environment, it's going to depend and it's going to impact the environment differently. Mountains are going to show up differently than valleys. We're going to be on the ocean. I came from the West Coast. When I came here for grad school, I was like, wait, the snow comes to us? What? Okay, that's fine. And you actually have to adapt and change. But what it tells you the who and the what is around our environments. And so as we think about our tech firms and our small businesses that are in tech, we have to look at the landscape around us and be cognizant. And I would offer this special caution. We also have to think about being good neighbors. We are in the community. We cannot be separate from it. We are part of the fabric, and we need to respect the folks who have been there and who have been there all the time, and be good neighbors, and think about it as a collective and a collaborative environment, because the topography will tell us what we need to notice and who we need to be in this community. Duo has offices from London to San Mateo and everywhere in between, and what we need to do is be thoughtful about how we enter those spaces. The next thing I'll talk about is that it's unpredictable. People are inherently unpredictable like the weather. We can plan for all of these things, and then something will show up and just blow it all up. And we will have unexpected moments of greatness and unexpected moments of turmoil and churn and difficulty. What we do is we work through it, and we will always be able to do that. And so let's just think of it and right-size our expectations that if we expect things to be unpredictable, then we can weather it. Do you see what I did right there? You see how I'm doing this? I'm up here working, y'all. So the next piece, I think, is let's talk about outcomes. That ultimately, the goal of meteorology is to predict and let people go about their daily lives with as minimal disruption as possible. It's going to rain, take an umbrella so you can go make it to your grocery store run or your errands that you have to do. It's going to snow ridiculously a lot in Michigan. Trey, you need a winter coat. So this is all the stuff that we need to do because we want to make sure that people are able to offer their highest unique contribution. That's the goal. In tech, we're about innovation. We can't do that if people aren't able to amplify their voices, contribute meaningfully, and see themselves as part of the greater goal. That's the outcome. That's why we need to focus on diversity in tech. And I think that ultimately, the take-home, if you've listened to nothing else, if you don't even remember the picture of Daniel Fahrenheit, what I'd love for you to walk away with is this. Let's treat inclusion like the weather. Let's check it often and plan accordingly. Because a prepared pug is a happy pug, and a happy pug makes a happy company, and a happy company makes great, great products. Thank you so much, y'all.